Ndewo. Hello everyone and welcome back to Learn Igbo, your go-to channel for embracing the beautiful Igbo language. In today's episode, we're diving into 16 key tips for fast Igbo language and heritage mastery in 2024. So whether you're a beginner or looking to improve your skills, maybe reading, writing in Igbo, or even learning Igbo language or history or the heritage, these tips are, tailored for you. So let's get started. Embrace Igbo culture. So tip number 1, you have to embrace Igbo culture. The heart of any language at all is its culture. So to truly understand Igbo, you have to immerse yourself in its rich traditions. You attend cultural festivals like the New Yam Festival, Igbo traditional weddings, or if you're not able to attend these events in person, you can watch them on YouTube and immerse yourself. There's so many videos about New Yam festivals, masquerades performing, people cooking Igbo food on YouTube. It's a treasure trove of information to find anything and everything about Igbo culture. So when you're when you immerse yourself in the language, like the music from artists like Flavor to Osito Sadebe, and then you try making dishes like Ofo Nubo or Ofo Okoro or Ofo Were. This not only enhances your vocabulary, but it also gives you a deeper appreciation for for the Igbo language, nuances and idioms, and the general worldview of Igbo people. So tip number 2 is to start with the basics. Before you dive into complex grammar and sentences, get comfortable first of all with basic vocabulary, like you start with the greetings, ndewo, una dekwa mma, daalụ olu, little things like that, like the numbers, everyday phrases. How are you? What's your name? Where are you from? What do you do? Things like that in Igbo language. So it's just those little things, because I find that a lot of people who know everything about the Igbo grammar, a lot of them cannot even make a sentence in Igbo language. And this is because they are fixated on the inner workings. You need to start somewhere first. And then as you get comfortable, then you start branching into the whys and wherefores. Remember when you were a kid learning English, you were learning English from repeating what people were saying, you didn't learn like the parts of speech or nouns and verbs before. You started off speaking, and then while you went in school and you had some sort of command of English language, then you start learning the grammar. And so you learn everyday phrases, you practice simple sentences like ahambu, my name is, and achọrọ m ịmụta asụsụ Igbo, I want to learn asụsụ Igbo. So building a solid foundation makes learning even more advanced concepts much easier. So you start first with baby steps, learn the basic phrases, your everyday phrases, and then start also learn phrases that apply to you. So there's no point in learning a phrase about climbing, phrases about climbing a palm tree when you're not climbing palm tree in your day-to-day life. So make a list of the things you do in your day-to-day life and then learn how to say those things in Igbo. Tip number 3, practice daily. Language learning is like an exercise for your brain. So you need to set aside dedicated time each day to practice Igbo. So this could be through speaking exercises, writing simple sentences, or even thinking in Igbo. Again, YouTube is a treasure trove of videos to find what to say, to practice. So it doesn't matter. It's not about learning 2 hours in a week. It's about learning 5 minutes every day. So when you do 5 minutes or 10 minutes or 20 minutes at the same time every day, you find that you build up, consistency, and your brain begins to recognize, oh, at this time I'm supposed to learn this. And that's how it starts. But you need to practice, because it's not just if you want to lose weight or gain or build muscle, reading books or listening to podcasts will not help you. You actually need to get out there and start exercising, or start lifting weights or doing things. If you want to learn how to drive, you need to get behind the wheel and start driving. Watching driving videos or reading about driving will not help you learn how to drive. And so that's how it applies to language learning and learning Igbo language. So consistent practice will reinforce what you've learned, and it will also speed up your progress and get you more comfortable in what you're learning. Tip number 4, watch Igbo movies and TV shows. Back to YouTube. There is a treasure trove of Igbo language movies and programs and news features in Igbo language. So you just go to YouTube, and while you're doing something, just put it in the background. And the more you hear Igbo being spoken, the more you internalize it. You internalize the languages, the sound, and before you know it, you start picking out and recognizing every little words being said. So immersing yourself in media, Nollywood movies in Igbo or local news broadcasts, like I said before, provides a real world context to the language, because most times what you learn in the textbooks is not what you will hear out there in the streets. It helps with understanding different accents and slangs, and so you can also pick up on cultural nuances. And then it's also a fun way to learn. Utilize language learning apps. There are several apps out there specifically for learning Igbo language. They gamify the learning process with interactive games, quizzes, and flashcards. And this makes learning less tedious and more engaging. So you have to look for apps that focus on Igbo vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar. So you also need to do your due diligence when you go on the app store to look at all the apps and see which one is suited to what you want to learn, and also look at the reviews to see what people are saying, people who have used the app are saying. So it also makes you kind of make an informed decision on what app to buy. And so number 6 is engage in conversation with native speakers. Engaging in conversation, it is really crucial. So don't be shy to practice your Igbo with friends or online language exchange partners. You can join groups of Igbo communities and see if any of them can you can start speaking with them. If you have family members who are not likely to who understand how serious you are with your Igbo learning, they will help. So with all these communities, it gives you a platform to ask questions and share experiences. And understanding the history of Igbo people enriches your cultural and linguistic understanding. So number 7, again, join online Igbo learning communities. And this is so important, like I mentioned in number 6. Joining people who are on the same mission with you, who, like in your own case, learning Igbo language is so crucial, because they are the ones that will encourage you when you're slacking. Because believe me, there are times when you would not feel like practicing, but when you realize, oh, hang on, there are other people having the same challenges that I'm having, and so they would kind of prop you up. And this is where I plug my private membership, coaching membership, the Learn Igbo Now Challenge, which is a kind of a daily challenge that gives you learning material to practice with, and then it will make you accountable every day. You do the task usually within 10 to 15 minutes every day. Some of my students do it in the morning, some prefer lunchtime, some prefer evening. So you pick the time that helps you. And then any of them that have questions, just pop a question either on the discussion group we have inside the private membership, or they send me a private message. And then once a week we meet on Zoom, where you get the chance to practice your Igbo, to ask questions, and then to put in requests for specific aspects of the language or the culture or the history that you want to learn about. If we don't have a video like that, then we will create it for you. So online learning, Igbo learning communities are very, very important, because there is a reason why that's saying move with people on the same mission with you, because they prop you up. And so, tip number 8, engage with Igbo literature. There are books that are written in Igbo. There are books that are written in Igbo and English, dual language support. And in reading all these books, you learn about Igbo worldview, Igbo literature, and a lot of these books are also mainstream, that are right under your nose, but you've forgotten all about them. Things like Things Fall Apart, Chimamanda Adichie's books, Chika Onigwe's books, Chigozie Obioma's books, Nnedi Okorafor's books. All these books are mainstream, and yet they have aspects of Igbo culture, Igbo cosmology, Igbo heritage that you can glean from the stories being told in these books. So engaging with Igbo literature is a very important one. Tip number 9, invest in an Igbo dictionary. There are a few Igbo dictionaries out there, including the one I've written, Igbo Dictionary for Children, but you also have things like online pronunciation guides. There's one at Forvo, Forvo, and then there's another pronunciation guide we're building right here on YouTube, Talking Igbo Dictionary. So when you search for Talking Igbo Dictionary on YouTube, you will find it, and that will help you learn how to pronounce all the words. But also having an Igbo dictionary handy helps a lot, because that way you can find words, meanings of words. You can also use Google Translate to find out meanings of words, Igbo words in English. And although Google Translate is not always accurate, but it's quite about 90%, sometimes 80% correct. So at least it gives you an added resource to compare and contrast. Tip number 10, listen to Igbo music. That is a very big one. A lot of my students in the private membership have learned so much Igbo just by listening to music. You listen to the kind of genre you like. If you like high life, you listen to Usto Sadebe, philosophical ones like Celestine Oko. If you like rap, you can listen to Fino. You can listen to people like Zoro, Nelly Uchendu. There are so many types of Igbo music you can listen to. And the more you listen to this music, the more you internalize the words there. And music is also a very good way of learning the local slangs, because that way you know what's happening. There's also a huge amount of Igbo gospel music on YouTube. So if you could find this Igbo music, Igbo songs, you can learn it right here on Learn Igbo channel. I also have some videos that teach you how to sing some Igbo songs with the full explanation of the lyrics, and that helps a lot. So the more you listen to this Igbo music, the more you internalize the words, and the more you recognize the words when you hear them somewhere else. Before you know it, you start singing these songs. Before you know it, you start understanding the meanings. Tip number 11: incorporate Igbo in your daily routines. If you're cooking, try and find out, say words about what you're cooking. For example, in the picture we're looking at now, the lady is cutting vegetables. There's akwụkwọ nri is vegetable. There's tomatoes on the table. Otubala is tomato. So the more you do incorporate Igbo into your daily routines, the more it becomes a part of you. So it doesn't matter what you're doing, but your daily routine, whether you're jogging or you're going to work or you're driving or you're doing work or you're having a shower, it doesn't matter. You incorporate it into your daily routine, and you can talk to yourself and describe what you're doing. Tip number 12: set realistic goals. Setting small achievable goals will help you, kind of keep motivated. And then it also gives you a sense of accomplishment. You can start with simple goals like learning 5 new words a day, or having a basic conversation by the end of the month. As you achieve these goals, gradually increase the difficulty. Nothing stops you from having a little monologue. Talk to yourself about certain things in Igbo. The more you do it, the more, So you can't expect to go from 0 to 1,000. Like some people ask me, oh, can I learn Igbo in 1 week? How long will it take me to learn Igbo? It's just like asking how long is a piece of string. I'm quite fluent in Igbo, but I'm still learning Igbo every day. The question to ask is, what can I do to get closer to my goal? It's not about learning Igbo in 1 week, or anybody that's trying to sell you, or you can speak Igbo quickly in 1 day or in 1 week or in 1 month. That person is not telling you the truth. It's you have to set realistic goals, so that as you achieve these goals, then you are gradually increase the difficulty of the level. So you go from learning simple words to making simple sentences that apply to you, and then from making simple sentences, you start making conversation, and then from conversations, you start learning how to read text, and then from there, you start learning proverbs and knowing where to apply the proverbs to your daily life, and then so on. So it's a gradual process. Tip number 13: use flashcards. This is so important. You can always buy blank flashcards and then make the flashcards yourself. If you see something you want to learn, you write it, the English word on one side, and write the Igbo word on the other side, and make notes to help you pronounce it, to help you make sentences on it. On my website www.learnibonow.com, I have a pack of 100 printable flashcards. You print it, and then when you pass your phone camera on it, the QR code there will lead you to the pronunciation of that particular word you're looking for. So with flashcards, it's so important. You either create your own, you buy some, or you print off flashcards online. But you cannot go wrong with flashcards. It's a very useful learning tool to use for anything really, not just language learning. So it's a really timeless and effective method for memorizing new vocabulary. Tip number 14: learn local slangs and expressions. So the more you learn local slangs and expressions, the more you can integrate into what people are saying on a day-to-day basis. Again, going back to music, listening to music like Flavors or Finos or Zorro and all these contemporary singers, you get to pick up slangs being spoken. Like when someone says "owu na-esem, owu ite na-esem," you know that they're saying that they're skint, they don't have much money on them. and you know, it makes you also appreciate how the language is changing. And that's where, you know, that's the edge. Things like films and music help you where textbooks will not help you, because there's a lot of slangs you will never see it in a textbook. You can only get it on regular media like music and, you know, films and programs. Tip number 15: be patient. Learning a new language, it takes time. It's a journey with ups and downs. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you get it wrong. But what happens? You keep pushing. You celebrate your small victories, like successfully constructing a sentence or understanding a dialogue in a movie. Remember, every bit of progress is a step forward in your language learning journey. You learn, you know, how to do tongue twisters. That helps you learn how to let the language and the sounds flow from your mouth easily. Sometimes you make big gains, sometimes you make small gains. Sometimes you forget words. Everybody forgets words, even people that are fluent in the language. And if it makes you feel better, even the people who feel they are fluent in speaking Igbo, who laugh at you, most of them don't even know how to read Igbo. And then you have an edge, you know, against them, because the more you're learning and watching videos on YouTube, the more you're learning how to read. So, and to be fluent in Igbo, you have to learn how to speak, to write, to listen, to converse in it. So just be patient and take each day as it comes. And sometimes you might go a week without practicing, but you know what? You pick yourself up and continue. Finally, tip number 16, stay motivated. Remind yourself why you started learning Igbo. You might be learning Igbo because you never had a chance to, and now you want to learn and get closer to your heritage. You might be learning Igbo because you have a partner who is Igbo and you want to know what they're saying, what they and your in-laws are saying. You might want to learn Igbo because you want to learn so that you can teach your children. Maybe for some people is to connect with their heritage, communicate with family, or for personal growth. So keeping your end goal in mind will help you stay focused and overcome any challenges you face. You know, so that's number 16, at the end of the 16 key tips for fast Igbo language and heritage mastery in 2024. Remember, everyone's language journey is unique, so stop measuring yourself with others. Find what works best for you and stick with it. I hope these tips will help guide and motivate you on your path to fluency. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Learn Igbo channel for more Igbo learning content. According to my analytics shows that almost 70% of you watch my videos, but they are not subscribed to the videos. So I'm asking you, it helps me when you subscribe and like and comment, because that helps me know that my videos are actually being useful to you, to help you get to, you know, your Igbo language and culture learning goals. Dalurine, and see you in the next video.